Hare Krishna, Gita Mataji and Janus Prabhuji. Thank you so much for joining in. I will announce in 3-4 minutes. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Haribol Mataji, we're both here. Yanis Prabhu and I are both here.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Mataji. I appreciate you always join before time, so thank you so much for that.
No problem.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Tonight reciters are Gita Mataji will be reciting in Sanskrit and Janus Prabhuji will be reciting in English from Canto 3, Chapter 30, verses 1 to 17. So Gita Mataji, whenever you're ready, can you please start with invocation 3 times? Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 1. Kapila uvacha. I'll just let you bring the translation up as well so my husband can see that part too. Kapila uvacha. Tashetasya jano nunam nayam veduru vikramam kalyamanopi balino vayoriva ganavalihi.
The personality of Godhead said, as a mass of clouds does not know the powerful influence of the wind, a person engaged in material consciousness does not know the powerful strength of the time factor by which he is being carried.
Text 2. Yam yam artham upadate dukhena sukha hetave tam tam dhunate bhagavan puman chokati yat krite.
Whatever is produced by the materialist with great pain and labor, for so-called happiness, the Supreme Personality as the time factor destroys, and for this reason the conditioned soul laments.
Text 3. Yad adruvasya dehasya sanubandhasya durmatihi dhruvani manyate mohad graha kshetra vasunicha.
The misguided materialist does not know that his very body is impermanent and that the attractions of home, land, and wealth, which are in relationship to that body, are also temporary. Out of ignorance only, he thinks that everything is permanent.
Text 4. Janturve bhava etasmin yam yam yonin anuvrajit tasyam salabhate nivritam na virajyate.
The living entity, in whatever species of life he appears, finds a particular type of satisfaction in that species, and he is never averse to being situated in such a condition.
Text 5. Narakstopi deham ve napumam styaktamicchati narakyam nivritau satyam devamaya vimohitaha.
The conditioned living entity is satisfied in his own particular species of life. While deluded by the covering influence of the illusory energy, he feels little inclined to cast off his body, even when in hell, for he takes delight in hellish enjoyment.
Text 6. Atma jaya sutagara pashudravina bandhusu nirudamula hridaya atmanam bahumanyate.
Such satisfaction with one standard of living is due to deep-rooted attraction for body, wife, home, children, animals, wealth, and friends. In such association, the conditioned soul thinks himself quite perfect.
Text 7. Sandhayamana sarvanga esham duvahanadhina karati aviratam mudho duritani durashaya.
Although he is always burning with anxiety, such a fool always performs all kinds of mischievous activities with a hope which is never to be fulfilled in order to maintain his so-called family and society.
Text 8. Akshiptat mendriya strinam asatinam cha mayayaya rahora chitaya palahe shishunam kalabashinam.
He gives heart and senses to a woman who falsely charms him with Maya. He enjoys solitary embraces and talking with her, and he is enchanted by the sweet words of the small children.
Text 9. Graheshu kuta dharmeshu dukha tantre shiva atandritaha kurvan dukha pratikaram sukhavan manyate grahi.
The attached householder remains in his family life, which is full of diplomacy and politics. Always spreading miseries and controlled by acts of sense gratification, he acts just to counteract the reactions of all his miseries, and if he can successfully counteract such miseries, he thinks he is happy.
Text 10. Arther apadater gurvya himshayate tastataschatan pushnati yesham poshena shesha bhogyatya svayam.
He secures money by committing violence here and there, and although he employs it in the service of his family, he himself eats only a little portion of the food thus purchased, and he goes to hell for those for whom he earned the money in such an irregular way.
Text 11. Vartayam lupyamanayam arabdhayam punah punah lobhabhibhuto nihisatvaha pararthe kurutesh praham.
When he suffers reverses in his occupation, he tries again and again to improve himself. But when he is baffled in all attempts and is ruined, he accepts money from others because of excessive greed.
Text 12. Kutumba bharana kalpo mandabhagyo vritodamya shriya vihina krapano dhyayan shivastati mudhadahi.
Thus, the unfortunate man, unsuccessful in maintaining his family members, is bereft of all beauty. He always thinks of his failure, grieving very deeply.
Text 13. Evam svabharana kalpam tatkalatradyas nadriyante yatha purvam kinasha iva gojaram.
Seeing him unable to support them, his wife and others do not treat him with the same respect as before, even as miserly farmers do not accord the same treatment to their old and worn-out oxen.
Oh, I think text 14. Thank you. Tatrapi ajato nirvedo bhrimana swayam vritahe jarayo pata verupyo marana bhimukho grahe.
The foolish family man does not become averse to family life, although he is maintained by those whom he once maintained. Deformed by the influence of old age, he prepares himself to meet ultimate death.
Text 15. Astevamatyopanyastam grahapala ibaharan amyavya apradiptagnir alpaharo lapachistitha.
Thus he remains at home, just like a pet dog, and eats whatever is so negligently given to him. Afflicted with many illnesses such as dyspepsia and loss of appetite, he eats only very small morsels of food, and he becomes an invalid who cannot work anymore.
Text 16. Vayunottakramatotraha kafa samrudanadikaha kashashvasha kartayashaha kante gura gurayate.
In that diseased condition, one's eyes bulge due to the pressure of air from within, and his glands become congested with mucus. He has difficulty breathing, and upon exhaling and inhaling, he produces a sound like gura gura, a rattling within the throat.
Text 17. Sayana prashicho jadbhi parvita svabandhubhi vachyamano pina prute kalapasha vasham gataha.
In this way, he comes under the clutches of death and lies down, surrounded by lamenting friends and relatives, and although he wants to speak with them, he no longer can because he is under the control of time. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to recite Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Geeta Mataji and Janus Prabhuji, for the very nice recitation. It was perfect. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for the beautiful recitations, Mataji and Prabhuji. So we're just waiting for... Today we are having a new facilitator who is joining us. Her name is Palika Mataji, Her Grace Palika Mataji. But before Mataji joins, there is a short message and introduction from Rasalila Srimati Mataji, who will be introducing Palika Mataji to all of us. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Rasalila Srimati Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, all glories to, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So today we have got a Palika Mataji who is going to be, she's going to be giving the chat session today. And it is our great pleasure to welcome Her Grace Palika Devi Mataji as a today's speaker. Palika Mataji took shelter under the guidance and protection of His Holiness Shivaram Swami Maharaj, receiving her first initiation in 2006 and her second in 2013. She is a very sincere and humble devotee. Over the years, she has rendered devotional service in many forms, cooking breakfast and serving Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda, cooking for Radha Landaneshwara and performing the aartis, and joyfully teaching Krishna Club to children. A dedicated student of devotional scripture, she has completed her Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav courses and is currently studying Bhakti Vaibhav's deeper waters in the Bhakti Jewel course. She has been giving Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam classes at Bhaktivedanta Manor Temple. She lovingly leads a North London Sangha group and a Menti group at Bhaktivedanta Manor. And every Saturday, she serves in Srila Prabhupada's room, helping guests connect with his teachings. She also takes great joy in book distribution and stands ready to offer any service whenever needed. Please join us in warmly welcome Her Grace Palika Devi Dasi Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandot pranams.
Hare
Welcome,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Rashi Rasmati. Thank you so much for your loving and wonderful words. I don't think I deserve to hear all, but thank you so much. And I'm really very, very happy to be here. Okay, I don't see, I see myself. I don't know how, because I'm not very good in computer, so I don't know how to put myself into the picture.
Palika Mataji, Hare Krishna. Please accept
Hare
my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jyoti Mataji will be sharing the discussion verses 18 to 21. So she's doing it right now. So please don't worry about sharing the verses. Thank you. Hare Krishna. A warm welcome to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Vijay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. I just do my prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Om, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gyanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Sapadam Mandeham Shri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadbhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesho Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gauranga Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Manchakalpa Tarubhasya Kipa Sindhu Paye Pacha Patitanang Panavebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna. Namo. Hare Krishna, dear devotee, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm going to try to speak something on these verses, which is 18 to, I think 4 verses, 18, 19, 20, and 21. I'm going to try my best to give the class, but I'm not sure. Thank you. The first one is Evam Kutumba Bharane Shriyate Rudatam Shanamu Vedayasti. This the translation is, thus the man who is engaged with uncontrolled senses in maintaining a family dies in great grief, seeing his relatives crying. He does most pathetically in great pain without consciousness. Sorry, I didn't read the word-to-word meaning. First is evam, thus, kutumba bharane, in maintaining a family, vaprata, engross, atma, his mind, ajita, uncontrolled, indriya, his senses, mriyate, he dies, rudram, while crying, swanam, his relatives, uru, great, vedanya, with pain, asta, bereaved of the consciousness. So the meaning of the verse is in English. Thus, the man who engaged with uncontrolled senses in maintaining a family dies in great grief, seeing his relatives crying. He dies most pathetically in great pain and without consciousness. If anybody wants to read the purport.
I can read, don't mind, Mataji. If anybody wants, then that's fine, Mataji.
Okay, please.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that at the time of death, one will be absorbed in the thoughts which he cultivated during his lifetime. A person who had no other idea than to properly maintain his family members must have family affairs in his last thoughts. That is the natural sequence for a common man. The common man does not know the destiny of his life. He is simply busy in his flash of life, maintaining his family. At the last stage, no one is satisfied with how he has improved the family economic condition. Everyone thinks that he could not provide sufficiently. Because of his deep family affection, he forgets his main duty of controlling the senses and improving his spiritual consciousness. Sometimes a dying man entrusts the family affairs to either his son or some relative, saying, I am going. Please look after the family. He does not know where he is going, but even at the time of death, he is anxious about how his family will be maintained. Sometimes it is seen that a dying man requests a physician to increase his life at least for a few years so that the family maintenance plan which he has begun can be completed. These are the material disease of the conditioned soul. He completely forgets his real engagement. He becomes Krishna conscious and is always serious about planning to maintain his family, although he changes families one after another. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Kiki Dilali. So what I understand from this thing is just the sorry, Kapila Dev is giving instruction or the message of actually how the materially people who are engrossed in material life, how they go through the different difficulties in their life, because once because we are not the body, we are the spirit soul. So our aim need to be sort of connecting with Krishna and leading the life the way Srila Prabhupada has taught us through this Bhagavatam, and bringing us to Krishna consciousness, because without Srila Prabhupada's message of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, we had no idea what is actually spiritual life and how to maintain. We had some kind of a guidance, but they were not really which could help us completely clear our condition stage. So, but now Lord Kapila is giving in detailed knowledge of how the people who are materially engrossed and doesn't know anything about spiritual part, so how they live their life at the time of death. So we can see, in this text 18, that this, because all through the life, this the person who is who was the head of the family had just lived his life just completely looking after the family without any spiritual knowledge, just to maintain the family, feeding the family, and sort of helping them how to take the body, how to take care of the body and the family. So but at the time of death, there's nothing there for him to make himself better. So he's now in such a confused stage, because all he could think that, not thinking of, because he doesn't know about Krishna, he doesn't know about spiritual life, he doesn't know who he is. So he think he's the manager of the he was the manager of the family. He maintained his family. I mean, to his understanding, he was doing it sincerely. But all he could think is just that, oh my God, I haven't done this, I haven't done this, I need to do, I should have done that. But the family, even though he given his whole life for this to serve the family, but nobody is happy. They think that, oh, he should have done this, he should have done this. So so then he, whoever he sees at the at the time of his passing away, he's still thinking that, who is going to look after my family? So he's just, whoever he sees, I said, please take care of I'm leaving. But he doesn't know where he's going, where is he leaving to. So he kind of completely confused, and he's so conditioned that to become, he never had the opportunity to get into Krishna conscious or chanting the holy name. So what would be his destination? The family doesn't know anything about Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So where would be his destination? So this is very difficult. That's why Lord Kapila is giving us that, how we need to live our life, where we could be leading, because Srila Prabhupada has given us all this knowledge through the Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, how would we know? So we are so grateful to Srila Prabhupada that he has given us so much these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we need to understand it deeply, and also we need to pass the message to the people who we meet, and help others to come into Krishna conscious, so that they don't have to go through these difficulties through the time of death. And I'm very fortunate to have a neighbor who is kind of we've been living next to each other for many years, but I tried my best to, whoever you see, you want to give knowledge of Srimad Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. At the beginning, um, she was coming into my, sangha and was listening. But recently, she was going through a very difficult stage of her physical difficulty. So during the Christmas time, I gave her the chanting bead. I gave her the instruction how to chant, and since then I think something came upon us, and so this few over a month she was going through a very difficult time, and now she is kind of a Krishna's mercy. She is chanting every day, and she's chanting Hare Krishna and offering to Krishna. So I feel at least, whatever way I have, Krishna has kind of helped me to part this knowledge to another soul, so that that person is on one step forward. So I feel very fortunate with that, and that's how we need to do that, because Srila Prabhupada has given us so much knowledge, and so we need to pass on this knowledge. So this is my kind of a understanding of text 18. So I'll go to text 19, and yeah, if you could pull in text 19, Yoti, please. Thank you. Can you hear me? Thank you so much. Thank you. Text 19 is Yamaduta tada praptu bhimau shara vekshe kashno shadrishta trasta ridaye sakin mitram vimuchati. Yamaduta, two messengers of Yamaraj, Tada at that time, Prapto arrived, Bhimau terrible, Sarabhasha full of wrath, Ikshanu their eyes, Shah he, Drishta Singh, Trashta frightened, Hridaya his heart, Sakrit stood, Mutram urine, Vimuchati he passes. So at death, he sees the messengers of the Lord of Death come before him, their eyes full of wrath, and in great fear he passes stool and urine. So this is a very, very typical and very, very frightening, verse to read, and you feel that what happened at the time of death, when the people have no Krishna conscious, doesn't know, and the people around also can't really help them to for the time of passing away or whatever is happening. He's just absolutely scared, and he sees the Yamadut, and it's really, really very, very difficult stage of the person's life. So I'd like somebody to read the next passage.
Can I?
Yes,
Can I
please.
read it, Mataji?
Yes, please, Shiv. Thank you.
There are two kinds of transmigration of a living entity after passing away from the present body. One kind of transmigration is to go to the controller of sinful activities, who is known as Yamaraja, and the other is to go to the higher planets up to Vaikuntha. Here, Lord Kapila describes how persons engage in activities of sense gratification to maintain a family are treated by the messengers of Yamaraja called Jamadutas. At the time of death, the Jamadutas become the custodians of those persons who have strongly gratified their senses. They take charge of the dying man and take him to the planet where Jamaraja resides. The conditions there are described in the following verses. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for reading, Shipra. Very, very grateful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And so we can see this scene continues, how the the fruitative person who is engrossed in fruitative activities, what can happen, because at the time of death, this is what happened. People don't have, but if if he knew the chanting the holy name in fear, he could have just Hare Krishna, like that. So he would be kind of so much benefited. But the people who are around, they can't do anything, and he himself, so all he can have is just so much fear in his mind, and he is just completely bewildered. And the Yamaduta, they are not very friendly person. So all they have come just to take that person with a with a mood that yes, you are going to be punished. So it is a very, very difficult situation. Sorry, can the people be muted? There's a noise coming. Sorry. And that's why it's kind of described here in this passage, in the purport, that when the Jamaduta comes, and they are not really friendly people, so they go for these scenes of what he has done, that means he hasn't lived a life of a person who is peaceful, who is who could who could do a lot of good things, even doing pious activity also. That's also, sometimes it can help, but because he had no idea about any spiritual thing, so whatever he has done in this life, actually it becomes nothing, that he is going to be punished, whatever because he may have sincerely served the family very nicely, he fed them, he gave them shelter, but nothing of anything which could bring real peace in their life. So he couldn't provide that, and the family didn't provide them, so there's going to be a consequence of that. So that's why the Jamadutas are now they have come, come to take this body to not to the Vishnu planet, because Vishnu planet only people goes who chant the holy name and who has lived a very wonderful spiritual life. So he's not going in that way. So the Jamaduta only can take to Jamaraja's abode. And in going to Jamaraja's abode is not a very nice thing, because there's going to be only punishment. And so he is really, really in fear of seeing this Yamaduta. He's so fearful that he says that he passes his stool, he passes his urine, because he was so feared. Nothing he could do, that this comes naturally. Because when somebody is very fearful, the whole body kind of get so affected. So that's what happened to him. That I mean, he is completely frightened. He doesn't know. He does. Even the families are around. They cannot help him in that way, in this for his journey to the Yamayuta. So he's completely lost and so fearful. That's why, because before he was he's in a terrible state. What can be done? Because that's why in Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, at the time of death, whatever ones think, and that's where they go. Is whatever state of mind one remembers, when he quits the body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. That means if he was thinking of Krishna, of course he would go to he will go to spiritual world. But if he can't think that, then he will go to the Yamaduta, and there he's going to be have whatever they plan. Yamaduta will plan, and so that's what his destiny is going to be. So it's not a very nice. So what the purport which Srila Prabhupada explained it to us, that we must really think about our life, ourselves, and then whoever we meet, we speak about Krishna. Jare dakho tare kaho Krishna upadesh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, and that's what we need to do. We got a lot of responsibility in this life, and so that's why this is the time. This is month of Bhadra coming, and we are trying to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. And so whoever we meet, if we can sponsor Srimad Bhagavatam, we can ask people to contribute towards Bhagavatam at least, by doing so. And you create your piety. I mean, I'm very fortunate in our Sangha group. We have many, many wonderful devotees, and they always give so wonderful donation. And I'm very happy to say the last year when we had these Bhadra Purnima, actually all the families and our Sangha group, they all contributed such a wonderful amount of donation. It made about 17 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam we offered to South Africa. So such a wonderful gift, and this gift will help them to help kind of nourish their soul, and that can really doesn't have to come back to this person who is going through without any spiritual knowledge to not to suffer so much. So this is what that Kapila is giving, the vivid description of this person who is completely briefed of Krishna conscious or God consciousness. And in translation also Srila Prabhupada is giving us such a wonderful way to explain this, so that we can also help say everybody, and help ourselves first, and then help the others to come over this material existence. Has anybody got any comment or any questions so far? Hare Krishna.
No, Mataji, you're explaining everything so nicely. It's so easy to understand. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So it's text 20 now. I did recite the text 20. Yatnadeha abritta parshai baddhata gale balat nayata dirgha dhanam dandam raj bhata jatham. Yatna. Yes. Tile, the Yamadutas, Nirvina, broken, Hridaya, his heart, Tarjane, by threatening, Yata, arisen, Bapatu, trembling, Pathi, on the road, Survey, by Swabi, by dogs, Vakshanama, being bitten, Artha, distress, Agham, sins, Swam, his, Anusmaram, remembering. Text 21, the text translate. While carried by the constable of Yamaraja, he is overwhelmed and trembles in their hands. While passing on the road, he is bitten by dogs, and he can remember the sinful activities of his life. He is thus terribly distressed. So here, while he's sort of traveling to Yamraja's kingdom, he's actually he's thinking back, what have I done? And he's so much coming to him, all the feelings and um, um, maybe he's kind of regretting that what have I done? And then with the thing, um, and then he sees kind of the pathway towards Yamaraja's kingdom. It's not very nice, because whoever goes to Yamaraja's kingdom, they going to be not having a very good time, because they're going to be punished. So he's kind of bitten by dogs, who can, now his consciousness is still there. He's so he's feeling all that thing, and it reminds him all what happened. It's reminding him of all the things, sinful activity he's did. So he's kind of that's why he's, if you do something wrong, and if you are put into test, then I said, why did I do this? Why couldn't I do something better? Something. So I think that's why it is kind of given this kind of a punishment, though it's not very nice. I know we are reading this and we think, hey, he should get this punishment like this, but you also feel very sad for the people who find it very difficult, to have this kind of a consciousness to help them through, and so it is very, very, very sad. And so we could do something, we could do chanting Hare Krishna to the person, and then he would be, maybe he could be helped, and so that, and it would make his journey a bit better. So I just want to know if anybody wants to read the purport of to text 21.
Mataji, we've not read the purport of text 20, I don't think.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Can I read it, Mataji?
Yes, please, Jyoti.
Every living entity is covered by a subtle and gross body. The subtle body is covered of mind, ego, intelligence, and consciousness. It is said in the scriptures that the constables of Yamaraj cover the subtle body of the culprit and take him to the abode of Yamaraj to be punished in a way that he is able to tolerate. He does not die from this punishment, because if he dies, then who would suffer the punishment? It is not the business of the constables of Yamaraj to put one to death. In fact, it is not possible to kill a living entity, because factually he is eternal. He simply has to suffer the consequences of his activities of sense gratification. The process of punishment is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Formerly, the king's men would take a criminal in a boat in the middle of a river. They would dunk him by grasping a bunch of his hair and thrusting him completely underwater. And when he was almost suffocated, the king's constables would take him out of the water and allow him to breathe for some time. And then they would again dunk him in the water to suffocate. This sort of punishment is inflicted upon the forgotten soul by Yamaraj, as will be described in the following verses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Jyoti. I'm so sorry. I imagine how I missed this the PowerPoint because I think because it's my first time and I'm a bit. Please forgive me. So yes, this is a very actually nice description of the text 20. That what really as we know that we have this our spirit soul. We are that is our real identity. Spirit soul. We are the spirit soul because we are part and parcel of Krishna. So we are the spirit soul, but we are covered with the gross body and subtle body. Gross body is our, gross body is made of all these material, earth, air, fire, air, ether. But subtle body is false ego, mind, and intelligence. So that subtle body actually goes with you. If the subtle body is purified, that's when the soul is uncovered, and that's when the soul can shine. Yeah? That's because of the subtle body we come back again and again and again. So how do we purify the subtle body? Only through Krishna consciousness. There's nothing else. Only thing is because we are chanting the holy name, we are eating all the whatever Srila Prabhupada has taught us. No, very restriction. Like when we get initiation, we take a vow. We take a no illicit sex, no eating meat, fish, egg, or all kinds of non-vegetarian food, and then chant the holy name. So this is the way we can actually purify our subtle body. And when the subtle body is purified, and through the process of chanting the holy name, and that way our subtle body will be purified. And if the subtle body is purified, and we really practice the way it is shown to us by Srila Prabhupada through the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and we really follow, very sincerely and chanting the holy name, and that's the best way to shed off our subtle body, and that's when we can, at the end of the life, we can go back to Krishna. But this person who is, at the moment he's completely materially, he was completely materially engrossed. He had no idea about how to purify the subtle body, because gross body is always will go, but the subtle body is the most important thing which can help us to come out of this a cycle of birth, old age, and disease. So that's why it is so important that we cultivate the Krishna conscious, and so that's why the Yamaraja is kind of taking him, and that's why he said he does not die from punishment, because if he died, who will suffer the punishment? So he cannot die because he needs to have go through the punishment what he's done in this life, which is not connected to Krishna. So it is not the business of constables to Jamaraja put one to death. So they are not the one who can give it. They can give the punishment, but they cannot go beyond that. So he simply to suffer the consequence of his activities of sense gratification. Whatever he's done for his sins, that's what he's going to get the punished, but not for anything else. So that's why he said Chaitanya Charitamrita, formerly king's man, would take. So what a horrible way this when I was reading, I was thinking, how could they do that? How could they do that, taking the person on a boat and then put them down, and kind of when they're grasping for breath, and then they will put him up again and let him take a little bit of air and push him down again. It's just, can you imagine if somebody reading this and say, my God, I better take Krishna consciousness seriously. And there's no way, I'm going to follow this, but you see people like yesterday, I was
watching near Shohu Street, I see all the peoples, our Hare Krishna from the temple, Govinda Prabhu and all the others, they are chanting so wonderfully the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and all the people from the pub, they have their drinks in their hand, but they're chanting Hare Krishna. At least, by chanting for us to preach Krishna consciousness. There's some people just by chanting Hare Krishna, no matter whether they're drinking or what, by chanting only one, it says only once if you can chant, you are on the way to recovery from this material disease. So that was a wonderful thing to see, and that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Kevalam, Kalai Nastiva, Nastiva, Nastiva Gatirannata. So that's why in this age of Kali, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that there is no other way, no other way, no other way. Because Kali Yuga, the age itself is so difficult because there's so much disturbance all around the world. We can see so much war going on, and the head of the different countries, different states, they are not in Krishna conscious. They are kind of they're thinking of power, how they can use their power, but not in a Krishna conscious way. So the terrible conditions. So the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we are spreading Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the like those people, from the temple we are going out, and even they are chanting once, so that chanting one day, it will help to clarify the subtle body, and subtle body once clarified, and they will come to the temple, they will see that, you can see now so many more, a lot of people are coming to the temple now than before. And also this our temple is now on Sunday feast. There are a lot of people are coming, and we are doing dramas, so many different wonderful dramas from the scripture, and it is such a nicely acted by the players of the Bhaktivedanta manner. So this way people are getting some lot of benefit, and more we try to preach them this way, at least some little bit will go inside the holy name, the scripture, in a lighter version, because some people will not be taken like Srimad Bhagavatam like that, just like that. I mean, we are doing in a chat group, we are helping ourselves to purify ourselves by reading our Srimad Bhagavatam. Whoever hears, I'm sure you are all, whatever you've been hearing, you will speak to another person, and then that they will get a little bit of purification. So this way, the circle of the movement, our spiritual movement, will go like a ripple. Once you put a stone in a water, you can see a little stone can make so many ripples, like a circle and circle. And so this way, the holy name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which has been spread by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it will go over the world. Now we can see what Srila Prabhupada has done. He just heard his spiritual master, go and preach Krishna consciousness to the Western world. And so how much he's taken in this old age. He went to to see sick, but he did not give up. He did not give up. How much he's done, it's just amazing, honestly. So that's why all these people who we are reading in these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, this poor man, he didn't know anything. If Srila Prabhupada was here, he could be holding Srila Prabhupada's feet, and he would get so much blessing, and his life would have been so that he doesn't have to go through the Yamadut. So we need to give this knowledge, and we need to spread Srimad Bhagavatam. We need to give Bhagavatam door to door, so that everybody gets even Srimad Bhagavatam. Even they read one word, even they keep Srimad Bhagavatam in their home, a set, that's Krishna himself. That way, the purity of the world, in a subtle way, it will spread. It will spread, and that's why we are who are practicing the Krishna consciousness through the instruction of our Srila Prabhupada and through our gurus, whatever we are learning, if we can just share, anybody, whoever you see, if we do a little bit, and it's such a we got such a, we got so much responsibility. And that's why, Vaisheshika Prabhu, I was watching online, and by people are distributing books, and Vishaka Mataji, Vaisheshika Prabhu, and all the senior members, they were all in Watford and giving sort of. It's just, it shows that how we can help others even a little bit. Just hearing, if they hear chanting the holy name, this poor man is suffering so much. We feel sad for this, for this soul, because he need to come out of his subtle body, a shed subtle body, and one day he will get to not Jamraja, but he will go to Krishna Lok. So it'll be our by the way we want to learn. I want to purify myself first, then whatever will come out of my mouth, that will help another person, because I need to be very clear, I need to be very pure for my word to be potent. I need to clarify myself. If I don't, then my word will not carry any value. So that's why I need to be very, very careful. I need to follow the instruction of my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And somebody was asking, how can you purify your consciousness? And I was listening to Shivram Swami Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, and he says, if you read Srimad Bhagavatam every day, at least an hour, that will purify, raise your consciousness. So it's very important for us that, chat group is still going on, and we are still doing, every evening we are doing. So that way, whoever coming in this group, listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, that way everybody's consciousness is going to be purified, and they will pass the message to the family, to the others, whoever they meet, and they will get conscious, higher consciousness. And when we have higher consciousness, whatever it comes out of our mouth and from within ourselves, it will purify me, and it will purify other people also. So that's why I feel it's very, very important for us to carry on reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we will help ourselves and help the others. I've got one more verse to go, which is 21. And this one also. Yeah. Tairni Viridaya Sturgeon. A very big, very one word. Tairni Vinnaridaya Sturgeon. Dainato Bepatu Patisha Vishkamana Artha Gangsha Manusmaram. Tayo is Jamadu. Where is it? Yeah, Jamadu. Nirbina, broken. Hridaya, his heart. Tarjanye, by the threatening. Yata, arisen. Bepu, Pepatu, trembling. Pathi, on the road. Savi, by dogs. Pakashwamana, being bitten. Artha, distress. Agham, sins. Swayam, his. Anusmaram, remembering. While carried by the constable of Yamraja, he is overwhelmed and trembles in their hands. While passing on the road, he is bitten by dogs, and he can remember the sinful activities of his life He is thus terribly distressed. Okay, who would like to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can I read, please?
Yes, Miss Rashi Rashmi.
It appears from this verse that while passing from this planet to the planet of Yamraj, the culprit arrested by Yamraj's constables meets many dogs which bark and bite just to remind him of his criminal activities of sense gratification. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita that one becomes almost blind and is bereft of all sense when he is infuriated by the desire for sense gratification. He forgets everything. Kame hit jnana. One is bereft of all intelligence when he is too attracted by sense gratification, and he forgets that he has to suffer the consequences also. Here, the chance for recounting his activities of sense gratification is given by the dogs engaged by Yamaraj. While we live in the gross body, such activities of sense gratification are encouraged even by modern government regulations. In every state all over the world, such activities are encouraged by the government in the form of birth control. Women are supplied pills and they are allowed to go to the clinical laboratory to get assistance for abortions. This is going on as a result of sense gratification. Actually, sex life is meant for begetting a good child. But because people have no control over the senses and there is no institution to train them to control the senses, the poor fellows fall victim to the criminal offenses of sense gratification and they are punished after death as described in these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Srila
Yeah,
Prabhupada. Hare
thank you
Krishna.
very much, Rashi Rashmati. Thank you for reading. And it's so important. This purport is very, very important. And so how different people are arrested by the Jamaraja because um, you know uh, he said the dog because his gross body is still there in a subtle way, and they get punishment. So, but they because their subtle body is still there, so they can feel. They can feel the bite of the dogs. They said, "Oh my God, I wish I didn't do this. I wish I knew Krishna conscious." I don't think the person who is going through these because he hasn't heard about anything about Krishna conscious. So it would be very difficult. But if he had learned even one tiny little bit of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that would save him from going through all these difficult moment of his life. That's why in Bhagavad Gita it says becomes almost blind, and it is bereft of all senses when he is infuriated by the desire of sense gratification. The sense gratification is really crime. It's really crime. Like you have read Rashi Srimati that about how the birth control of people they take and they're killing the babies, and so that's very very major crime. And they're allowed because uh, because the sense control for the sense control only sense control can be done only through Krishna consciousness, otherwise it is difficult. So that's why it is so important for us to spread this message of Srimad Bhagavatam to everywhere, so that people kind of at least they get the message. They get the message of this kind of a thing. They will think. They said, "Oh, this is not right." So their activity will change. Their subtle body will try to get purified, and it will help this knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, giving it to everybody. And then that's why Lord Kopila is giving the whole description of this material way of life to Devahati, his mother, to have the idea to, I mean, he's explaining everything to her mother, but through her mother question and answer, we are getting the benefit. And that's why Krishna comes and Jada Jada hi dharmasya kali bhavati bharata. So that's why he comes whenever he sees the discrepancy of he sees the how the world is growing, and he needs to bring back everybody. So that's why he comes himself, and he sends his representative to get us back to the spiritual world. So we have a lot of responsibility, and so we need to follow the instruction of Srimad Bhagavatam, and also follow help Srila Prabhupada through this mission of Krishna consciousness. That's what I could share. Please forgive me any offense I made or anything I didn't explain properly. So please forgive any mistake. Thank you very much indeed. So if you have any questions or any suggestion, it'll be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji, for the very nice class. You did very well. We are very grateful for you joining us today and giving us such a wonderful class. I was just going to make a comment, if I may, please, Mataji, from the last purport that we read. This is what we are seeing in today's world. Out of sense gratification, there are so many criminal activities, and it's so true. So I just wanted to make that comment.
Yes, it is, Shri Kishori. It is, I mean, unless, everybody becomes Krishna conscious, it's not going to be, but there is always going to be demon, is always going to be there, you see. And so that's why the spice of material world. But we're going to try our best to, to help people to, to whatever little big way we can do to help people to come to Krishna conscious. And that way it will, the consciousness will change of the world. That's what I can say.
Yes, and no day goes by without hearing of such atrocities and terrible activities that are taking place. It's really awful.
Yes. Thank you for your
Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Would anyone else like to make any comments or reflections or share anything with Mataji today? Please do unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I think it was a very, very nice, wonderful class today. Thank you so much, Palika Mataji.
Thank you, Yati. Thank you for your wonderful comment. I wasn't kind of ready. I don't know how I felt so, I don't know.
No. So, do you know how to share your screen, Mataji?
No, I don't.
Oh, on your screen, can you see a share button?
Where is the share button? Share. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like before you join the class, so let's
Yeah.
say 7:45 you have to join.
Yeah.
So 7:30 you join the link and then
Yeah.
you prepare yourself. So you go on Google, get the Srimad Bhagavatam verses. It's like go on Google, Vedabase, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 30, maybe verses 1 to 3 today. That's just an example. And then you
Yeah.
keep all that ready. And then when time comes, you click on share.
Oh,
Like I'm
okay.
always here to, I'm always happy and always here to help, but just for you to know.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
great. I will try.
Yeah, you can try
Thanks.
next time. Yeah. But today was wonderful class. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you for encouraging me. I was really, I was really scared. I said, "Oh my God, what do I think?" But Krishna gives you the word, But thank you,
Yes.
Rashi Lakshmi Srimati, to asking me for.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Really, it was a wonderful class, very insightful and very interesting and beautiful examples. Thank you so much.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Palika Mataji, for the very enlightening, uplifting class and very really easy to understand. Yeah, thank you so much for that.
So much. Panchakalpatarubhasya Pipashi
Debhyo
Very
Namo
nice
Namaha.
class, Mataji.
Dear devotees, let's
Wonderful
all unmute and say 3 Haribols to Mataji.
Hari
Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari
Krishna Mataji.
Bol.
Thank you so
Hari
much.
Bol.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Very nice class.
Thank you very much. All
Thank
glories to
you.
you,
Thank you.
Mataji.
Very
Hare
grateful.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Mataji.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.